It's a miserable cold Monday morning and we're ready to start on the 1200 again. But first, meet the new shop dog. This is Buddy. He's an old boy, but he's got such sad eyes. Haven't you, Buddy? He's a good boy. He's a very good boy. Anyway, we're moving onto the 1200. Last week we finished off down here on the sill panel section. That sill panel is still not welded in, it's just sitting there. But firstly, before I go any further, we're going to fix the wheel arch here because it's slightly crusty, as you can see. Buddy, hey Buddy, well, never mind. What do you think? What do you think, Buddy? You don't think at all? Yes, you do. Yes, yeah. Anyway, and then we're going to go up here to this section up here and get that done. So basically I want to get all of this and that done, so this is all finished and ready for the quarter panel over here to go back on. And I've got to clean off all this surface rust and everything. But also before the quarter panel goes on, I've got to make sure that the sill panels are all welded on properly, and that includes the inner seal, which isn't welded to the floor pans yet, so that all needs to be done. Buddy's still getting used to the place. He's only been here for a couple of days, or a day and one day he's been here, and unfortunately his owners had to move into a new house. They had no choice and they couldn't get one that they allowed a dog, so Buddy's still a little bit sad. He's missing his owners a bit, but he'll get used to it here. I'll look after him really well. Hey, we got a little bit done yesterday. As you can see, this rust section here, this rusty patch here is no longer rusty. I've welded a new piece in, but we're going to have to stretch it out further. Excuse me. We're going to have to stretch it out further than what it is, because that's going to rub on the tyre real bad. So before I move up to this section up here, I'm going to make sure that I get this fitting better than it is for the wheel, and I'll have to try and fit the quarter panel to make sure it's all going to stretch over it fine too as well. So that's the job for today. It's Tuesday morning, sun's half out, it's a bit cloudy, we are forecast for rain again, but I'm not a weatherman, so I'm going to go to work. What you doing, Buddy? 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 Hey, who's this? So, anyway, I got the wheel on, guards pulled out enough. Once I actually put this quarter panel on properly, I've got to fold this lip up and it should be fine, and there should be enough clearance, because there is enough clearance when the quarter panel's not on. So yeah, once the lip's folded up, it should be fine. But we'll cross that bridge when we put the quarter panel on. We'll just stand back and have a bit of a look. Oh yeah, that looks good. Before the end of the video, I'll drop the car down on the ground with the quarter panel on so you can see it with the wheels on. Oh, that's going to look bloody fantastic. Buddy, you look like a tiger from behind. Buddy's just found the neighbour's dog too, so it's going to be an interesting day of telling Buddy no. Oh, I didn't mean that right now, Buddy, but you don't want to play with the neighbour's dog. Well, the neighbour's dog doesn't want to play with you anyway. So yeah, this is going to look bloody fantastic. Oh, the the owner's sort of chosen a colour. I won't let you know just yet because he mightn't want you to know yet. But let's just say it's going to be good if he does choose it. It's going to look great. Yeah, alright. As I said, by the end of the video, I'll put all the rear beaver on, and we'll drop it down on its wheels so we can have a decent look at it. But yeah, with that wheel on the back, that makes it look so much better. It's going to be a killer looking little 1200, I reckon. Yeah, so I got that. I cheated a little bit on this. What I should have done is I should have, when I made the new section, I should have made it right up to here, and I should have made it already shaped to where I needed it to be to come out far enough to cover the wheel. So what I did, I cheated and I made a few cuts so I could stretch it out, and then I just re-welded them up. When it's on the rotisserie, I'll clean them up from the inside, but that's good enough for the outside because it's never going to be seen. Never. Unless someone decides they need to restore it again in 40, 50 years. But I'm sure the new owner will take care of it a lot better than that, what the first few owners did. So the next thing is this area here, but it goes right up inside, the rust goes right up inside up here. So what I'm going to do is this part here needs to be fixed anyway, so I'm going to make this section here up before I cut the original section out, so I've got it in the right shape. Then I'll remove it and I'll see what's underneath, and if there's this skin here, I'm not sure how far it goes up, I'll remove that as well so that I can get at the this part here. And then I'm going to make this whole section, I might just make it down to there, and because there's not much there to take a pattern off and the other side's pretty munted as well, I'm probably going to make it down to here, and then I'll make this section separate so that they meet. But that could change as I go. We'll see how we go. But we're moving on. The owner has bought all new, some new panels, like this panel in here that's rusted out. What else did he buy? There's a panel that goes up inside the guard. It's for structuralness. He's bought a new one of those, and I think it's in a Sill panel. I can't remember whether there was something else, I can't remember. But there's a 6-week wait on those, so I'll work around them for now. There's plenty of other stuff to do. So I can still make the boot floor. We're not doing the wheel well because he's going to do a drop tank, and so it's going to be pretty much a flat floor. And yeah, I'm just going to keep moving on with it. So I've got this section of roof skin made up. As you can see, it fits pretty good for now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around the edge of where it may be, which I'll do right now, and I'll come back to you. So yeah, there's the new section there, and I've just traced out a line around the edge of where this sits. But I'm not going to cut that much out straight away. I'm going to cut out a much smaller area because I don't want to have to weld in any more than I need to. So I'm going to keep it small, say cut it around here first and see what's there. And if I need to cut more out, then I know I can cut all the way back to here if I have to. So yeah, once I've cut it out to around about where I need it to be, I can trim this down to the size of where I cut it out, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to do that right now. So I've cut this skin out, so I don't think I need to cut this much out from where I've traced up around here. I think that's about all I need to do, because it seems like it's pretty fresh metal up here. But obviously this bit's not, and you can see where it's rusted out under here. So what I'm going to do next is, because I've already looked up inside here with my torch, I can see that it doesn't look like the rust extends any further than just there. So I'm going to make this part here, I'm going to get a new section, probably from here up to here. I'm going to make a new section for there. Then I'm going to cut this bit out and see what's underneath here, and that'll tell me how much I have to make of this part here. Okay, same thing with this bit that I've just made up. It goes there, and I've traced the line out with the Sharpie, and I'm going to cut it just a little bit smaller, and I'll trim it up afterwards just so I can find out what I need to make of the last panel underneath. I might actually brace the roof before I cut this out, because there's not going to be anything holding this up after I cut this. So I'll just weld a rod in there quickly just to keep it in place. Alright, I've cut this section out now. Now I can see where the bad rust is. It doesn't go too far, which I'm happy about. So really I probably could have got away with cutting it to about here. Mainly for the reason, no, not that bit. One moment. So yeah, I've cut this bit here out, which is this bit. So yeah, I'm happy with the amount I've cut out, because as you can see I had to cut that out anyway because of the pitted rust on this section. And I'm happy that the bad rust doesn't go back that far, it only stops right here. So got the new bit here that I've made up. I'll be able to cut that down a bit to size. And then, but first, I'm going to make this section here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it from there back to there, like a straight through line, probably there. And then I'm going to make a second piece that goes here and overlaps, and I'll probably just do a weld straight through the middle. Only reason is I could do it, but it's going to take a lot of time, and I'm trying to keep the hours down as much as I can. And I don't think my bead roll will make a turn that sharp, and I've got to bead roll this edge. So yeah, that's the next thing. So before I cut it out, I'm going to make the new section. I'll probably trace it from the inside out, and as you can see I've already prepared, tack welded this beam here at both ends. It's tack welded at the floor, so when I cut this roof isn't going to drop down, because even if it drops down a few millimeters, that's going to be enough to throw everything out of whack. So that's there just to stop this roof from dropping down when I cut this, because that we don't want. Quick update before I weld the last section in here. That looks a lot better, a lot less rusty. And that part there as well I've already welded in. yeah, it's looking good, looking good. A lot less of a rust bucket, that's for sure. And there we go, it's all done. A little bit more tidy up on that. I'll have to get the Eagle 2 dent puller on it and tidy that up a little bit better than it is, but it's not too bad. Unfortunately, panels like that you can't get at both sides, so it's a bit hard to plenish them out and make them smooth again. But yeah, all the rust work's done on this section anyway, not on the whole car obviously. But yeah, and it's only early in the week. Well, actually it's midweek, so still got 2 days to go on this, so we'll get a bit more done. Tomorrow I'll probably clean this whole panel up and get it ready to actually weld the quarter panel back on, because that's where we're at the moment. Actually no, got to sort out the sill panel first, got to weld that in before I can weld the quarter panel on, so that'll be tomorrow's job, sorting out the sill panel. So that'll actually involve taking the front guard off. So yeah, that's tomorrow's job, guys, so I'll see you in the morning. Morning, girls and guys. As you can see, I have removed the front guard and door because we need to get this sill panel all welded in properly. So I've got it's only held in by this one tech screw at the moment, and Buddy's come to visit. Hey buddy. Yeah, but I've got to pull it off because it's not, the inner seal isn't welded to the floor pan either, so that also has to be done. And Buddy wants love, but Buddy's in the way. But yeah, I've got to fix up this section here a little bit. There needs to be a little bit more added onto it. So yeah, that's today. That's what we're going to do today. Once we've done that, I'm going to move on and clean up all of this, get all the surface rust off so it's ready to blow some high fill primer over it so I can actually weld the quarter panel back on. That's why I'm doing the sill panel now, because I can't weld the quarter panel back on until that sill panel's welded in. And I've noticed we've got some Clicos here. I don't have a Clico tool to get them off, so don't worry mate, I'm gonna order one tonight because I've been meaning to for a while. This just gives me a reason, and I'll order one with some more Clicos in it. I'm sure I could work out how to get them off without a tool. Just need to press it in, I think. But yeah, saying that, I'm gonna get stuck into it. So I've had to remove the inner sill panel here. It's down on the floor because there's been no protection put on the inner flange of the floor pan, so I can't just weld it to that because it'll rust out again. So I'm going to clean up all of that and hit it with some copper spray, and it'll also give me the opportunity to drill some plug weld holes on the inner seal before I place it back in place. So yeah, so if you want to know where the time goes in a restoration, it's all this fiddly stuff. Like I've just cleaned this edge up, got all the rust off it, and I've also got to fix this little bit of rust here. This has got to be extended and tidied up. It's got to come out to about here, I think. I'd say it's there because that will be the last spot weld for this. This has got to be fixed. That's got to be extended down to about there. And this corner here has got to be fixed. Yeah, so I'm just going to hit this where I've just cleaned up with the weld through primer. It's copper spray, so it's conductive, so you can weld through it. So just do a little bit here. As you can see, it looks like copper. Everywhere where the faces are going to meet, you need to put this on, so seals it from moisture, and you can weld through it. Obviously, if you're going to weld through two panels, it's going to make a little bit of area that can corrode, but there's not much you can do about that. You just got to seam seal the seams up as good as possible to seal the moisture out after you've welded it. So yeah, that's that. So that's, I've got to drill some holes in this now for the plug welds to weld through onto this panel here. But first I'm gonna fix this little spot here. I'm gonna have to cut that out. I've already cut it, but it's spot welded here, so I'll grind those off and then I'll make up a new bit to go in there. I've got to put a little bit of a flange on it there, which I'll do with my bead roller, and I'm just going to do it instead of talking about it. Okay, that's the inner part of the seal panel all welded in. So I've coated it with a rust-proof epoxy paint, and I've hit the flanges with weld-through primer because I've got to that's where I have to weld the flanges for the outer seal panel. So that'll be the next thing. I'm going to drill some holes in, sitting over there on the ground, I've got to drill some holes in the outer seal panel, and then I can plug weld it on. I haven't cleaned up all the welds on the inside here because there's no point, because you'll never see them again. That's just wasting time. So yeah, moving on. We're getting some progress. Okay, it's Friday. Still got a couple of hours to go yet, but I got the seal panels all welded in, and I've extended the end of this rear B pillar, so that's all welded in as well. And the same here, I extended the A pillar, the foot of the A pillar back probably that far, and I had to weld in a strip here as well, so it had something to grip onto, and as well as the front bit there. So that's all done, as well as fixing the rust up around the quarter window. So that's all done. So next on the list is getting the quarter panel to mate up on the top corner of the roof here. So that's what I'm going to do for the last part of my week, and then it's just a matter of cleaning up all this surface rust, hitting this with epoxy primer so that I can actually weld the quarter panel on. But also I've got to put the door and front guard back on so I can make sure it all lines up before I weld it. I'm liking it. Ignore that gap, I haven't got that far yet. Still a bit of work to go on the gap here. It's a little bit narrow. Door's as far forward as it can go, so may have to take a little bit off the edge of the door itself, but I'll play with that. It's knock-off time, so yeah. So I've got all the seal panels all welded in, as I said. Wheel arch is fixed, rust's fixed up in the corner of the quarter window, and I've got this all snipped up, and that's ready for a weld, but not before I take the quarter panel back off again and clean it all up inside so I can epoxy it. But that's looking pretty bloody tough, actually. Very nice. Like it a lot. Makes me wish I didn't sell mine. Oh, can't have them all. Or can you? Yeah, well, I can't anyway. I can't afford them. So that's it for So if you can't tell by the fact that I've had a haircut, it's actually 2 days later. My GoPro went flat just as I was signing off, go figure. But I can't even remember where I got to, so I'm just going to wrap it up here, guys. So next week, what am I doing? Oh, that's right, I've got to clean up the inside of the quarter panel, so I've got to take all that back off again. Clean it up so I can hit it with epoxy, and then I can weld that quarter panel back on. Okay, yeah, and then I'll probably move to the other side and start working on that, so I can get both quarter panels sorted out, and I'll get the boot floor sorted out. So yeah, just moving forward, just making plans in my head. So yeah, I'm going to sign off here, guys, and I'll see you next week, I guess. Yeah, which is only tomorrow because it's lunchtime Sunday, so it's not far away.